Alright, that's a lot better. I don't know what the fuck happened to the settings here. Alright. Oh god, here we go. Alright, looks like I am recording from inside a refrigerator because of the way I have this light set up. It's like, just open the fridge, put it in the freaking freezer, and then we'll just talk. Anyway, so, definitely went to just, can't even speak words. Anyway, it just came out from seeing, oh my god, I couldn't even get the name right. Anyway, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. Almost got all of that incorrectly. Who am I? Anywho, so, this light, ow! That light gets really hot. Oh, I didn't know that light gets really hot. Oh my god. This is bouncing off like the corner of a table. I'm the worst at this. Anyway, so as this just, okay, stay. How did I do this before? Anyway, so just got a seeing Star Wars. How did I balance this light before? Oh my god. Anyway. So yeah, just got out seeing Star Wars, and I really enjoyed it. Light, if you, oh my god, just finally balanced like 10 years later. Anyway, so yeah. A minute of footage of me struggling with a light that just burned the fuck out of my finger. Anyway, yeah, so just kind of seeing Rise of Skywalker, and I enjoyed it. Like, I was surprised I kept away from a lot of spoilers, being the fact that, like, I was on social media. But I think it's also says a lot about, well, one, because Instagram had updated their thing where they don't just always show comments like they used to, which is how, like, with Force Awakens, I found out what happened with freaking Han Solo, because it was just, like, always comments, so you would scroll through and someone's like, why'd you kill Han? She's like, no! You know? Whereas now it's just kind of like, there's 30 comments there. Cool, and you don't see any of the comments, except for every so often, it'll be, like, a really, like, fucked up one. You're like, why do you show me this one? Like, thanks. Thanks, Instagram. Anyway, also people I follow on Tumblr are nice enough to not post anything, which I'm surprised. Usually it's like, the movie drops midnight, 12:01 a.m., fucking gift sets, like, galore. But anywho, so, yeah. I went to go see it IMAX like I usually do, and, god, it looks so good in IMAX. But anyway, so, I'll go into spoilers later because I'm that nice of a person. So anyway, so with the movie, as you can see in the trailer, it's, you know, it's the end of everything, tears, crying. I did tear up a bit because it is Star Wars and it has come to an end. For now, we know that. But for now, this story is the end. So, you know, we're like, hey, what's Rey's past? This whole time it's like, what the fuck is Rey's past? You know, it's like, is Poe and Finn gonna kiss, you know? Is Kylo Ren gonna, like, you know, not be a little emo bitch anymore or something, you know, figure that out. What's gonna happen with Leia's story now that Carrie Fisher's no longer around? All the tears. But yeah, so you kind of, you get to learn everything, and things you learn, you know, I don't want to be like, oh man, it wasn't shocking enough, or the bombshell wasn't like, clutch my pearls enough. But it's like, the shit you learn about it, it's good. It like makes sense within the story and all that stuff, you know? And I was telling Paul about this, how, you know, I didn't really have that much of a problem with Last Jedi. Like, I don't hate it, as some people do. You know, I mean, like, if I were, because a lot of people have been putting up their lists of, like, this is how I rank my Star Wars movies kind of stuff, and they put, like, Last Jedi all the way at the bottom, and I'm like, did you not watch, you know, like Attack of the Clones? You know what I mean? Like, not watch episode 2, 3, 1? Y'all didn't watch any of that? Okay. You know, so, anyway, but now, after watching this one, you know, I understand a little bit more why Last Jedi is being kind of like, about, you know, and I get it with any series, you know, there's going to be a thing of, like, you know, like, definitely take Lord of the Rings, where it's like, the group is together, then the group is separate, and then in the last film the group is together, or like they come together to fight the evil, you know, like we all know that's how all these things work. It's, you know, we're a band of misfits, we're together. Then we get separated in the second film, and in the third one, we all come back together. That's how it always is with the trilogies. That's how the original trilogy was like that. We're not talking about the prequels, because they're its own whatever beast it is. But I understand that people didn't want to see them get separated of course, with The Last Jedi, and then, like, shoehorning in Benicio del Toro's cameo, like, really hard in there was just kind of like, dude, if he was just like oh, I was just that guy in the prison cell, like, that's it. But he was just, like, there so hard. But, anywho, because, like I said, because of watching this current one, like I said, I'm understanding the kind of, like, grr towards Last Jedi a little bit more. But, anyway, so with this one, things kind of come together and come to a close a lot better. J.J. Abrams stuck with what Rian Johnson did, which was keep Kylo Ren's, like, cut here, which, because initially in Force Awakens was right down the middle, but then Rian Johnson's like, I'm sick and tired of face cuts all the way down the middle, let's just move it over. Whatever, you know? So he kept with that, and I don't know what else to say, because, again, it's like, you can't really say much without spoiling it. What am I kicking? But yeah, like, I enjoyed it. I like how, again, how everything came together. You know, again, it's Star Wars. It's one of these sci-fi fantasy things where you know how it's gonna end. You know how it's, again, to use Lord of the Rings, you know it's gonna be like they're at their last leg, and then Aragorn shows up with, like, the army of dead kind of stuff, where you're like, oh my god, we're not gonna make it, and then they make it. You know that. It's not really a spoiler. Like, that's how these things happen. It's like, even, I don't really want to bring up Harry Potter because of what recently happened, but, you know, like Harry Potter, it's like, oh, these kids and stuff, and then zippity, I don't know, I never was really into Harry Potter, then they zippity dude, da-dade over there, but, anywho, whatchamacallit, Dominic Monaghan is in the movie. Like, you see him in the trailer for a second, which is great. It makes me very happy because he's such a huge fan of Star Wars, and he's always wanted to be in Star Wars, and it's so funny how people have asked him, they're like, you know, some people think Lord of the Rings is their Star Wars, and he's just like, you know, like, thinking how, like, the impact and everything, and he's just like, oh my god, oh man, did I fuck up, you know? Just existential crisis, you know? But anywho, yeah, so it's great to see him there. It was like, his little, like, kind of, I don't know if you want to call it cameo, but his, like, role was just kind of there, like, I'm next to Rose. Hey, I'm Dominic Monaghan. Rose is there, and he's like, hey, Dominic Monaghan. Hey, you need someone? You need someone? It's just like, all right, bro. Like, I guess you're here, man. Yeah, Rose is there. You saw her in the trailer. Her character was a little bit more, I don't, like, pulled back. I don't know if that's the case, because she was obviously very prominent in the previous film. This one, she was there, and she was very helpful and useful. Well, she was in the previous film. But you can tell, sadly enough, probably because of the backlash, because, you know, fucking annoying people are the loudest ones. They pulled her back a little, you know, not too much, but you could tell, like, there was some restraint there. You could tell that there could have or should have been just a little bit more, but, like, not at the level it was the last film, where she was there more than Rey kind of thing. But again, I had no problem with her because I'm not a racist, you know? Oh my god, anywho. But yeah, I'm gonna go into spoilers. 1, 2, 3 spoilers. You've been warned. I'm gonna fucking say some shit. So, with how they just done away with Carrie Fisher, this sounds fucked up, but how they did it, which I remember talking to Paul about this, like, I knew once in Force Awakens when Han Solo, you know, died, I was like, alright, you know, like, each one of them, of this the original trio, are gonna die in each film. You just know it. So when Luke went away in that one, and then you're wondering, like, well, how's Leia gonna go? Because Carrie Fisher actually did pass, but the way how they did it, you, again, like, not in a bad way, not in, like, a Justice League, like, wow, this was definitely, like, a reshoot kind of thing. We're like, this is obvious. But you could tell when Lupita Nyong'o's character was kind of like, she had to just kind of, like, quickly throw an exposition in there. Like, she was like, oh, she has to, you know, she's using so much life force to find Ben. And so she's going to use up all her life force and then she's just going to die, you know. And you're like, you know, still a little fresh, thanks. Still a little fresh. Still a little fresh in me, thanks. You know, you're just like, Carrie Fisher, you know, Space Mom, you know. So they mentioned that, and so once that happens, and then once Rey kills Kylo, You know, the whole time I was like, no, he does not deserve a redemption arc. Which he does get one, but it's reasonable. It's a little bit better. You know, all the fucking fan fiction shippers are gonna be happy with how part of this ended. I'm like, God damn it, fuck this, you know. But again, this movie kind of tried to clear up some of the what the fuck shit in the previous one with the whole like, I was gonna grab your hand and all that stuff, but she was like, I was gonna grab Ben's hand, not Kylo's, and it's like, all right, girl, like, I get you, but it just feels like that. She was like that girl, you know, who was just like, well, I'm just gonna go back to my boy, like my ex, because, you know, he's changed, you know, like, he messaged me recently, and he said he stopped, like, doing cocaine, you know, and he's, like, starting to take vitamins, so, like, you know, he's changed, and you're like, girl, no, you know, like, don't, terrible comparison, but that's what it felt like, you know, with her, even if it's like, nah, like, I get it, but no, fuck him, you know. But yeah, like when she kills him, and then I'm like, good, you know. And I think they did that to be like, for the people who didn't like him, to kill him, and then you're like, good. But then she's like, oh, I showed you earlier, I have the healing powers, and then, you know, she like heals him up, and then he's like, oh, thanks, shit, all right, you know. And then you knew, like, when in the end, when Rey dies from killing Palpatine, that, you know, you knew when he flew off that, like, cliff rift McCracken thing, he wasn't gone. Like, he was just like, ah, grandpa, you know, and he was gonna give his life force to her, which, that, I'm fine with that redemption arc of him, like, giving his life for her life, because I'm like, good, you don't deserve to live, you piece of shit, you know, so, fuck you. The kiss, I was like, I knew it was gonna happen, I didn't want it to happen, I was like, fine. What? I was like, don't kiss, don't kiss. The whole time I was like, don't kiss, don't kiss. But she was like, Ben, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, alright, fine. Oh, God. It was just like a, it wasn't like a blah, 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 blah. You know, oh, God. I was still like, no, fine, alright. Fine. I can never learn. 10 years of doing this, can never learn to put my phone on mute. But yeah, so with that, I'm like, alright, fine. And then, just, you know, Leia and, you know, I guess Ben now, because he's good now, you know, just fade into nothing because they're Jedis, you know. And learning that Leia has her own, like, lightsaber, that's fucking awesome. Where's that merch? I need that. I need that. Because I have, where's mine? I got my, you know, Return of the Jedi Luke one, because it's green, because what does mama love? So I got that, and I was like, yeah, I would love to have my Leia one just hanging here on this shelf with no space to put anything else on it, you know? But, oh, I stomped really hard there. But yeah, so that part I was like, okay, fine. Finding out that, well, one, you knew from the trailer that Palpatine's back, because who else laughs like that, you know? But like, that's Paul. I know, it's like, I know it too. It's like, I don't have a special tone for him, but it's like, I know it. But yeah, like, finding out that Palpatine 1 is back. 2, like, he's back in spirit, and then he becomes, like, full, like, corporeal and shit, and you're like, okay. But then finding out that he is Rey's grandpa, and, like, the reason why her parents abandoned her, which, I'm fine with that answer, like, that reasoning, because it is kind of fucked up to be like, yo, your parents just left you on this, like, you know, garbage heap of a planet, you know, shit. Like, what fucked up parents? But you realize, like, her parents were doing that to save her, and you're like, alright, okay, that's fine, you know, that still sucks, but that's fine. You know, finding that, because earlier in the film, when she does force lightning, I was like, yo! I was like, the fuck? You know? Like, you knew then that there was a connection to Palpatine, because he's the only one who has fucking force lightning, you know, but you're still kind of like, you're like in denial, you're like, no, just maybe it's like a new generation where everybody got force lightning, you know, but anyway, Paul, shh, I'll get to you in a second, my camera's about to overheat anyway, but yeah, so, I'm fine with how, you know, it ended and all that stuff. Billy D. Williams being there, that's all I have to say is Billy D. Williams is there. Um, just seeing that the trio is back together in scenes and just being together, it was very good. It was like John Boyega's screen time actually like lessened a lot, whereas like the first movie and the second one definitely tons of screen time. This one not as much because it was definitely the larger focus on Rey, which the story itself was really more on Rey than anything. But you know he was still there. They were great. They had the little comedic moments, which was also fun. Um, Again, like Chewie, oh my god, there was the scare thing, like you thought that Chewie died. I was like, you best not hurt Chewie, because I'm already upset with how, like, I'm already like, oh my god, Carrie Fisher, don't kill Chewie, I can't take this. Also, I love in the end that freaking Leia actually gave Chewie a medal, because that was like the thing that a lot of us have said, where, you know, in what do you call it, A New Hope or whatever, and like you know the oh my brain has stopped, but like you know when she gives them all the medal, like everyone got a medal but Chewie, but now he finally got a medal. It's like how many years later, you know, like damn, all right. But anywho, so that was good. Like it was funny because some people like complained that there was like a gay kiss in the movie, and it was like in the end it was like two ladies and they're just like, I'm so happy we survived, mwah! And it's like that was it. It's like you see more walking down the street, you know, like on the subway. Nasty shit be happening, you know. You're like, that person's sucking dick under that coat, you know. And you're like, you're not complaining about that, but like two ladies happily see each other and kiss in Star Wars. You're like, no, think about the children. While over there on the subway, it's just happening over there underneath that coat. All right, whatever. Anyway. I'm just gonna quickly talk about trailers since again my camera is about to freaking die in a second. So they showed like 10-15 minutes of Tenet, which I'm like, oh my god, because I'm watching in IMAX. Oh my god, Christopher Nolan, here we go again. I'm all for this. They showed the 007 one, which looks great on IMAX, although I hope the editing in the actual movie is not like the one because we're gonna have another Quantum of Solace moment. I am just not here for these movies anymore. Then there was Doolittle, which I'm just kind of like, it's over there. Like, Robert Downey, I get it, after all the Marvel and stuff, you need something, like, easy. So I'm like, go on, I'm not mad at you. The trailers are kind of all over the place just because it's like, what do we show in IMAX? I forgot what else was there. Because, like, they showed Tenet, and then it was, like, the animated thingy with, like the blue people and stuff. It was like so crazy. Like, you see the 10-15 minutes of Tenet, it's like intense because it's Nolan and it's shot amazingly because it's fucking Nolan, you know, and it's using up all of the entire IMAX screen because it's fucking Nolan. And then next it's like, hey, we're buddies, your dad left this staff and it was like this weird like you're like yeah. But other than that, yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed Rise of Skywalker. It was a very good finish, like, end to it. I really don't care what people have an issue with. Just like I really don't care about people having an issue with Last Jedi. Also, I find it funny that because people had such an issue with Last Jedi, that they kind of came to the realization about how good Rogue One is. Because when Rogue One came out, like, all of us were like, yo, this is so good. Like, a complete and full Star Wars story within the universe, fixing up some plot holes, but being its own thing as well. I'm like, I really liked it. People were like, oh, then Last Jedi comes out, and they're like, you know what? Rogue One was really good, and you're like, really? Elf on the Shelf? Like, what the fuck? Anyway, but anywho, so that I think that might be the last movie of the year I'm watching in theaters. I don't know. I'm currently doing that thing I normally do where I'm catching up on films that came out during the year that I couldn't get to, especially when I didn't have a job. Like, you know, before I got the job I have now where I'm just like, So I'm catching up on that and probably have my best stuff, worst stuff probably by the end of January, February, because there is a bunch of movies that I'm like, I don't know if I can get to because obviously that stuff's like not in theaters, but it's not available to like rent, that kind of bullshit. But anyway, I think the next movie I'm gonna see in theaters is Cats. Oh, God. No. Anyway, see you.